Hello, everybody. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Wrap Up, brought to you by FHT Sports for Friday, June 8th. I'd love to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals and Ovechkin finally getting his Stanley Cup win, but we'll leave that for the hockey guru who is in Canada, back home in Toronto, and for Uncle Tony as well to bring their usual wonderful insight. I want to talk about something else. I know when you woke up this morning, you got your first cup of coffee, you were like, hey, I really hope Darren talks about the Tampa Bay Rays and about some stuff that's going on in Major League Baseball. Yeah, I know there's game 4 tonight of the NBA Finals, but you were thinking, yeah, I want to know what the heck is going on in Tampa Bay, which is just this other next generation of all this sabermetrics nonsense. And again, I'm not against all sabermetrics. Did you know what the Tampa Bay Rays are looking to do? And not just the manager. This has to get from the top, the GM, the president, scouts. They're trying to do away with the starting pitcher. For years now, in contract negotiations for Major League Baseball players, they started by saying, well, the amount of innings that you're going doesn't really matter, which is just nonsense. Look at the arm injuries. They've actually gone up. You could say that I'm wrong, but check it out. And again, when you pull a source to source, see who's paying for that source before you say, well, this recent study said, why can't people throw 8 innings anymore, much less 9? And then wins and losses weren't that important in contract negotiations because the numbers tell us, and dig deep, will you please? Will you not take everything at face value? How about that? How about you try that? Because if you look at the numbers, all this really comes down to is saving money. Now, nobody is saying that you need to waste money. But if you come out and say, hey, listen, we have a budget, we have a cap, whatever it is, $50 million, and we're going to play to win within that cap. I shake your hand and say, that's a wonderful way to go about your team. You may win, you may not. But when you lie, and that's what it is, when you lie and say that you're helping the game, helping the player by limiting their ability to do certain things, it's ridiculous. Do you know, for example, pitchers in the National League can't bunt anymore. They can't bunt. When you see one bunt, you're like, get me some water, I might faint. So what's Tampa Bay doing? They're doing away with the starting pitcher. They're thinking about starting relievers for the first couple of innings and then bringing on what they would call the starting pitcher going for the rest of the game, maybe. So think about that. Your whole career, you're a starting pitcher. You're getting paid as that way. Now you're middle inning relief. Nothing against that, but that's what you are. Try your next contract negotiation. They're going to tell you that there's a mile-long line of people that could throw 3 or 4 innings. Now, if you have injuries or if you're in a playoff situation, Fresno State just 10 years ago won a national title in college baseball by basically having a bunch of relievers. That's when you do it. But to have a staff of no starters and everything interchangeable sounds really good on paper. No, it doesn't. It's nonsense. You don't have a stopper. Well, that's old world thinking, Darren. The numbers. No, the numbers tell you that you're saving numbers on a spreadsheet. And again, if that's what you're saying, I'm okay with that because that's a strategy. But when you say it's better for the game or better for the pitcher, we've got people coming out of games now with finger injuries. These pitchers can't go 6 or 7 anymore, so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But now you're going to start your relievers at the beginning. It's sort of like you just want to change things to change things. It's just nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. You show me a World Series staff that has ever won that way, where you didn't have that stopper. But if you want to cut salaries and pretend that you're actually helping people out, do it. People are buying it, but I'm not. It's nonsense. What do you think of doing away with the starting pitcher? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Share our content at FHT Sports. We'd love that. And I love the game of baseball, but this is too much. It's absolute nonsense. How about we bunt somebody over when they got the shift on? No starting pitchers? Just absolute nonsense. Now, let's all go back to sports where we'll talk about how LeBron James is just not treated right. Nonsense. Hey, LeBron, win. How about you win? How about that? Do that.